are you? Hope all of you are fine and safe at your home. Students, in previous video I give you the explanation and reading of our poem Father to Son. Now today I will give you the question answers. Now question number 1. Does the poem talk of an exclusively personal experience or is it fairly universal? Answer. Though the poem seems to talk exclusively of the personal experiences of a father, it is fairly universal in the problems that it addresses from the father's perspective. At the surface, the poem communicates the pain and helplessness of a father who wishes to mend the differences with his son in order to be with him. However, the theme of the poem is universal. Generation gap and lack of communication between parents and children are quite common these days. It speaks of the pain that parents go through due to being distanced from their children, both physically and emotionally. Question number 2. How is the father's helplessness brought out in the poem? Answer is, the helplessness of the father is highlighted through the depiction of the emotional struggle that he undergoes. He is aware of the problem and is willing to resolve it, but is unable to do so. He regrets the lack of a strong emotional bond and proper communication with his son, who is also physically distanced from him. Question number 3. Identify the phrases and lines that indicate distance between father and son. Here, phrases and lines that indicate distance between the father and the son are: I do not understand this child. I know nothing of him. We speak like strangers. There is no sign of understanding in the air, and silence surrounds us. Now go to the question number 4. Does the poem have a consistent rhyme scheme? Answer. No, the poem does not follow a consistent rhyme scheme. Now here students, short answer type questions are. Question number 1. What does the speaker say about father-son relationship? Answer. Actually, the father-son relationship is non-functional. The father does not understand the aspirations, longings, or carvings of the son. They speak like strangers. Their exchanges, if any, are just formal. Otherwise, silence surrounds them. Question number 2. What do you think is responsible for the distance between father and son? Here answer. The lack of understanding on the part of the older generation, here means father, is the root of the problem. The father wants the young man to stick to home turf. The son, now a young man, seeks fresh avenues and lives in a world of his own. The father finds it hard to adjust to the growing changes. Question number 3. Why do you think does the father appear so helpless? Answer. The father has been unable to understand what his son loves to do. He is not in a position to advise him as there is hardly any intimacy between them. They speak like strangers, otherwise, there is a silence around them. The son has his own dreams and plans which her does not appreciate. Next question. How can you infer that the father wishes his son to remain at home with him? Answer. The father finds the son's interest quite different. He is homebound, whereas the son is on the lookout for fresh avenues. He aspires for a world of his own. The father wants him to return home even if he undergoes losses by his extravagant venues. He is willing to make up with him if he agrees to live with him. There is some long answer type question. What sort of father-son relationship has been depicted in the poem Father to Son? Answer. The poem depicts a father-son relationship which exists in name only. The two have been living together in the same house for years. Even then, the father does not understand his son. He confesses that he knows nothing of his son. The bond of affection between them lie broken. They have become formal just like strangers. Although the son resembles his father physically, yet he had his own vision, dreams, and aspiration. He is not homebound and is not afraid of venture forth. The protective father is willing to forgive him for incurring loss of material wealth provided he returns home. The painful experiences of lack of communication fills the father with utter helplessness, anger and grief. His efforts to restore the relationship fail as there is no response from the other side. Next question. How far has the poet succeeded in transforming a purely personal matter to a universal experience prevalent in modern times? Answer. The poem begins on an autobiographical note. The speaker, that is, the father, recounts his own experience. He talks about the non functional father son relationship. He neither understands his son nor knows anything about him. In spite of living in the same house, the distance between father and son has increased. There is lack of communication between them. They either talk like strangers or silence surrounds them. The father is unable to share what the son prefers to do. The distance has reached to sorrowful limit. Even then, the father is willing to shape a new love and build up a fresh relationship. His grief takes the form of anger and they fail to reach any compromise. Here, students, there is a question answer of poetry, father to son. So you have to write all these answers in your notebook and learn it.